With me is the most powerful version of the best-selling Lamborghini of all time. Behind me is the Lamborghini Urus SE. I'm Amaan Ahmed and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this plug-in hybrid super SUV. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to Car and Bike and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video. Now let's check out what has changed with the Urus. The Urus has been around for a few years now, but it's not like it looks boring or dated. This is still a facelift, so you can see some subtle changes have been made. What I find interesting is the redesigned LED headlights. They have this new LED DRL in them, which is supposedly inspired by the tail of the raging bull in the Lamborghini logo. I'm not sure if I see the resemblance, but it is an interesting touch. And as you can see, lots of gloss black treatment over here down low in the front bumper to break up the visual mass. I think it looks pretty nice. The bonnet has some new ripples on it, which also looks pretty cool. This one is riding on 23-inch wheels, so these are the largest wheels that you can get on the Urus. The range is 21 to 23. This one is running on 23-inch wheels, and you can see it has these giant 440mm carbon ceramic brake discs. You'll see in profile not much has changed. This is still the good old Urus as we've known it. It has frameless doors, which is a pretty cool touch. But if you really want to be able to tell the Urus SE from the original Urus, you have to come over to the tail section, because this is where some of the more noticeable changes have been made. You've got these taillights which are not too dissimilar to the original Uruses, but you've got this full width element back here, which has apparently been inspired by the Gallardo. These look like vents, but they are not. This is just designed with hexagonal patterns in it. Down here you will notice it has a new diffuser. And the reason it is new is because it actually adds to the aero efficiency of the Urus SE. There's also a seam that just runs down the middle of the tailgate. Another interesting touch. Now let's quickly take a look at the interior of the Urus SE and see what has changed over there. Yeah. So now we're taking a look at the interior of the Urus SE. You can see it's finished in this tasty caramel interior color scheme. It is loaded as before, so you still get a Bang & Olufsen sound system. You've got powered seats, you've got a massive panoramic sunroof, you've got twin screens, 12.3-inch digital instruments display and a touchscreen infotainment system with updated graphics. But this is the type of SUV that you want to drive. And speaking of driving, the drive mode selector in the center console now has additional drive modes. So earlier you had around 6 drive modes. Now that has gone up to 11 because the Urus SE has EV specific drive modes. So you can select when you want to drive purely on electric power, when you want to use both the electric motor and the engine together, and there are other modes as well. And speaking of the battery pack is actually situated behind the rear seat. It's a 25.9 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack with prismatic cells. Do you remember which other coupe SUV uses prismatic cells? That's right, that's the Tata Curve, and I know a lot of you have pulled that comparison, told us that the Curve looks a lot like an Urus. If you haven't watched our first look video of the Curve EV, then click on the pop-out banner here to watch it. Now let's take a look at the powertrain of the Urus SE. Now we come to the business end of the Urus SE, and I say this because while this is a facelift, the main change is with the powertrain. Thankfully, the fact that this is now a hybrid does not mean that the engine has been downsized. You still get the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 engine. It produces close to 600 horsepower on its own and close to 800 Newton meters of torque. But now there's an electric motor as well, which is housed in the transmission, and that provides additional boost. So total system output is close to 800 bhp and torque goes up to 950 Newton meters. With this, the power to weight ratio of the Urus SE has also improved to 3.13 kg, and it has a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time of 3.4 seconds, which is an improvement on the Urus S. The top speed too has gone up to 312 kilometers an hour, again higher than before. And ultimately, you also get the benefit of this being a plug-in hybrid. So when the 25.9 kilowatt-hour battery is fully charged, you can cover up to 60 kilometers in real-world use with a top speed of 135 kilometers an hour. Would you imagine using the Urus as an all-electric vehicle? Let us know in the comments. This is not just any other hybrid, it's a plug-in hybrid, which is why you see the charge port over here. You can choose to plug it in, and if you don't want to plug it in, you can also use the engine to simply recharge the battery on the go. Now let's talk about the price. The Urus SE in India costs 4.57 crore rupees ex-showroom without any options. Of course, you can choose to deck it up. More than 100 exterior colors to choose from, more than 40 interior options to choose from. So you can deck it up as you like it. This is more powerful than before, and it also gives you the flexibility of electric power, but it must be a little bit heavier. But we can't wait to drive it and find out if it is any different from the Urus we've known so far. If you enjoyed watching this video, if you found it informative, then please make sure to like it and share it with your friends and family.